Good morning, dear students. We see the standard 7th and the unit is 3. The title of the unit is Matter Around Us. The title of the unit is Matter Around Us. Now we see about the atoms. Atoms are the smallest unit of an element that exhibits the properties of element. All the matter is composed of tiny particles called atom. Atom is the basic unit of matter. Molecules. A molecule is made up of two or more atoms chemically combined. Oxygen gas in the air that we breathe is made up of two oxygen atoms chemically combined. That is, oxygen plus oxygen, that is equal to O2. An atom of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen combine to form a molecule that is called water. The formula of water is H2O. Molecules also exhibit properties of matter and have individual existence. A molecule can be formed by the same or the different kind of atoms. Now we see about the molecules can be classified as follows. A molecule which contains only one atom is called monoatomic molecule. The inert gases are monoatomic molecules. A molecule which contains two atoms, that is called as diatomic molecule. Oxygen, nitric oxide, hydrogen, these are the example for the diatomic molecule. If a molecule contains three atoms, that is called as triatomic molecule. Ozone, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, these are the example for the triatomic molecule. If a molecule contains more than three atoms, that are known as polyatomic molecules. Phosphorus, sulfur, these are the examples for polyatomic molecules. Now we see about the molecules of elements. A molecule of an element consists of a fixed number of one type of atom chemically combined. So here chlorine gas. Chlorine contains two chlorine atoms. Likewise, oxygen gas contains two oxygen atoms. Nitrogen gas contains two nitrogen atoms. Molecule of compounds. Molecule of a compound consists of a fixed number of different types of atoms chemically combined. For example, carbon dioxide. Here, one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms combine to form carbon dioxide. Ammonia. Here, one hydrogen atom and three hydrogen atom combines to form ammonia. Hydrogen chloride. Here, one hydrogen and one chloride combines to form hydrogen chloride. Now we see about the classification of matter. Matters are classified into two types. One is pure substances, another one is impure substances. The pure substances further classified into elements and compounds. The impure substances are classified into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. The elements are further classified into four types. One is metal, the other one is non-metals and metalloids and noble gases. Now we see about the elements. Matter in its simplest form is called an element. We are using many elements in our daily life. The common salt is consisting of elements of sodium and chlorine. Water consists of hydrogen and oxygen. Magnesium and phosphorus used for making crackers. Sulfur is used as manure in agriculture. Gallium is used for making mobile phones. Silicon is used for making computer chips. There are 180 known elements till date. 94 of these elements occur naturally, while 24 elements have been created artificially in the laboratory. Now we see about the classification of elements. Elements are classified into three types. One is metal and non-metals, and the last type is metalloids. Now we see about the metals. Metals are generally hard and shiny elements. Sodium is one of the expectation. Sodium is one of the exception as it is soft. All metals except mercury are solid at room temperature. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Copper, lead, tin, nickel, iron, zinc, gold, magnesium and calcium, these are the example for the metals. Now we see about the properties of metals. Metals are malleable that can be bent or beaten into sheets. They can be drawn into wires. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. Now we see about the non-metals. Non-metals are generally dull and soft. However, diamond is shiny and also the hardest natural substance on earth. Non-metals can be gases, solids, liquids. Carbon, phosphorus, sulfur are the example for non-metals. Now we see about the properties of non-metals. Non-metals such as oxygen, hydrogen and chlorine are gases at room temperature. Non-metals such as carbon, iodine, sulfur and phosphorus are solids at room temperature. Bromine is the only non-metal that is liquid at room temperature. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Now we see about the metalloids. Metalloids exhibit the properties of both metals and non-metals. Silicon, arsenic, antimony, boron are the examples of the metalloids. Now we see the difference between the metals and non-metals. Metals are lustrous, they have a shiny surface. Non-metals are non-lustrous, they have non-shiny surface. Metals are generally hard. Non-metals are generally soft. Most metals are bendable. Non-metals are non-bendable. Most metals can be bent, beaten into sheets, and they can drawn into wires. Non-metals are non-ductile. Most metals are good conductors of electricity. Non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Most metals are good conductors of heat. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat. Most metals are making ringing sound when struck. Hence they are used to make objects like bells. Non-metals does not make any sound when they struck. Now we see about the compounds. A compound is a pure substance that is formed when the atoms of two or more elements combine chemically in definite proportions. Common salt is a compound made up of elements sodium and chlorine. It is used in our food, whereas the sodium and chlorine are poison, are both unsafe for consumption. Now we see about the properties of compounds. A compound is formed only when the constituent elements combine in a fixed proportion. The properties of a compound are different from those of its constituent elements. A compound cannot be broken down by physical methods. This is because a compound is made up of different elements that are chemically combined. Sodium chloride cannot be separated by physical methods such as filtration. A compound can be separated into its constituent elements by chemical methods only. Now we see the difference between the elements and the compound. An element is a simple substance, but the compound is a chemical substance formed by the combination of the one or more elements. Elements combine to form compounds, but the compounds can be split into elements. Atoms are the fundamental particles of an element, but the molecules are the fundamental particles of a compound. Now we see about the symbol of an element. A symbol is an abbreviation or short representation of chemical element. There is a unique symbol for each element. It represents one atom of the element. The symbol is usually derived from the name of the element, which is either in English or Latin. These symbols were allocated by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Dalton was the first scientist to use the symbols for elements in a very specific sense. When he used the symbol for an element, he also meant a definite quantity of that element, that is, one atom of that element. Berzelius suggested the symbols of elements Berzelius suggested that the symbols of elements be made from one or two letters of the name of the element. Symbols for some elements were proposed by Dalton is given here. Now we see about the rules followed while assigning the symbols to an element. Chemical symbols usually consist of one or two letters. The symbols of most elements correspond to the first letter of the English name. For example, the symbol for oxygen is O, hydrogen is H, fluorine F, carbon, that is E, phosphorus P, sulfur S, potassium, that is K, because that is the Latin name of potassium is Kalium, so the potassium has the symbol K. Uranium U. Now we see about the elements represented by the symbol of two letters. When there is more than one element that begins with the same letter, the symbol take two letters. The first letter is capitalized while the second letter has lowercase. For example, aluminium Al, argon Ar, arsenic As, barium Ba, nickel Ni, bromine Br, chromium Cr, cobalt Co, helium He, magnesium Mg, calcium Ca, and chlorine Cl. Now we see about the elements represented by their Latin name. The symbols for some elements are derived from their Latin names. For example, the symbol for copper Cu, that is from the Latin name cuprum. The symbol for lead, that is from the Latin name plumbum. The symbol for potassium K, that is from the Latin name kalium. The symbol for iron Fe, that is from the Latin name ferrum. The symbol for mercury Hg, that is from the Latin name hydrargyro. The symbol for sodium Na, that is from the Latin name natrium. Now we see about the chemical formula. Often we hear that water is the formula H2O. This is the chemical formula for water molecule. This means that each molecule of water has two hydrogen atoms combined with one oxygen atom. A chemical formula is a symbolic representation of one molecule of element or a compound. It provides information about the elements present in the molecule and the number of atoms of each element. Therefore, the chemical formula tells us the types of atoms and the number of each type of atom in one molecule of a substance. Water H2O, here the small number beside the H symbol is called subscript. It tells us the number of atoms, the elements present in the molecule. Hence, there are two hydrogen atoms in water molecules. When there is no number of besides O symbol, it means that there is only one atom of the element present in the molecule. Hence there is one oxygen atom in an water molecule. Now we see some compounds and the number of atoms of each element. Water that has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Ammonia that has 1 hydrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atom. Carbon dioxide that has 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen atoms. Hydrochloric acid. Formula for hydrochloric acid is HCl. It has 1 hydrogen and 1 chlorine. Nitric acid, the formula for nitric acid is HNO3. It has 1 hydrogen, 1 nitrogen and 3 oxygen. Sulfuric acid, the formula for sulfuric acid is H2SO4. It has 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen molecules. Now we see about the atomicity. In chemistry, we usually understand atomicity to imply the total number of atoms present in one molecule of an element, compound or a substance. For example, oxygen exists as a diatomic molecule, which means that a molecule of oxygen contains 2 atoms. Hence, its atomicity is 2. O plus O, that is equal to O2. Here helium is monoatomicity. Hydrogen is diatomicity, oxygen diatomicity, chlorine diatomicity, ozone that is triatomicity, sulfur that is polyatomicity. For a molecule containing more than one types of atoms, simply count the number of each atom and that would be its atomicity. For example, a molecule of sulfuric acid consists of 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atoms. Hence, its atomicity is 7. Now we see about some atomicity of the elements. Argon, that is monatomic, helium monatomic, oxygen diatomic, hydrogen diatomic, nitrogen diatomic, chlorine diatomic, phosphorus tetratomic, sulfur that is polyatomic. Now we see about the effects of temperature on solid, liquid and gases. What happens to matter during heating? Yes, when solid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate vigorously. During heating or expansion, the mass of matter does not change, but the distance between the particle of ion log change. Mass is conserved when matter expands. When the particle possess enough energy, they overcome the strong forces of attraction between one another. The particles break free from one another and move randomly. For example, when solid ice is heated to 0 degrees Celsius, it melts to become liquid water. In the same way, liquid water is heated to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils to become steam. When solid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. When the melting occurs, when the melting point is reached, the solid changes to its liquid state. When a liquid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. Gas boiling occurs when the boiling point is reached, the liquid changes to its gaseous state. Thank you, students.